You're considering working from home, selling final expense insurance, jumping into the telespace. Well, you found the right video. So many people want the freedom and the flexibility that they can find when they're successful in the final expense telesales realm. And it's really reality for those that are successful. But let me share with you, a lot of folks don't understand what the business really looks like when you're working from home. This video will hopefully be of a help to you today. So before I go into this content with you, jasonfinalexpense.com. I'm very blessed to run a national insurance agency. I do partner and recruit agents across this nation. We work together selling life, Medicare, and annuities face-to-face, but more importantly, in the telespace. And there's free resources on my website for the taking, and I appreciate you joining with me today. So first off, when you're getting this in your mind where you're like, I want to work from home, I really want to do it, let's not look at this with rose-colored glasses. Let's get raw about it. And first off, you've got to be in a position yet you have extreme discipline. If you want to make it in an industry where 90% of the agents fail out, you've got to dig deep. You've got to be in a place that you're ready to go. You're prepared mentally, and you're prepared mentally powerfully if you want a chance of making it in this industry. And a lot of six-figure reps make it. But you've also got to be in a position that you understand a lot of folks fail too. All right. So it's not unicorns and rainbows. Working from home isn't putting your feet up on the desk. It's about being extremely driven, extremely disciplined. So if you lack discipline, you should not think about working from home doing insurance. It's a tough industry, but it's amazing when you're successful. So first off, you got to get licensed. If you're not licensed as an insurance agent, then everything that I'm going to speak to you really doesn't matter. So if you want to go into insurance sales, first step, go get licensed. And if you're wondering, where do I go to get licensed or maybe some pre-licensing coursework, Google ExamFX. If you need a link, reach out on my website, jasonfinalexpense.com. Love to give you a link to that. But ExamFX, if you're not licensed, is a great place to start so that you can then launch into this amazing industry and work from home. So many people hate their 8 to 5. They're like choking it down every day. They're having to beg their bosses for vacations, bathroom breaks, lunch breaks, getting told when to do certain things. And that gets old real quick. So if you want freedom, there's no life like the telesales life. It's amazing. And when you're successful, it's just phenomenal because it comes with great liberty, but with that liberty comes great responsibility. So you've got to be responsible. Don't forget that. If you're going to step into this industry, you've got to be responsible. You've got to be disciplined if you want to be dynamic and make the revenue. Okay. So first off, get yourself licensed, use ExamFX. And if you are licensed, you're going to need to purchase a couple things. You need a computer. That's important in final expense telesales. You need a computer and you need a phone. Those are the two pieces of equipment. You don't need 10,000 monitors trying to give yourself a sunburn here. That's not what it's about. Just a computer or an iPad and a phone. Or you can use a computer with good internet, all right, and a dialer. There's some good dialers out there too. You can get it done. And if you use a dialer, you need to use a headset because you're dialing through your computer. That's going to be an important piece of the equation here. So prepare yourself for working from home by being disciplined, being driven, get yourself licensed. And if you're watching this video and you're like, Jason, I'm licensed already. Well, good. You don't have to worry about that step, but get your equipment in line. And then step number 2, if you have your equipment and you're licensed, you've got to get yourself appointed. You've got to get the ability to get paid from these companies when you sell a policy. That's called getting appointed or getting contracted. That's where you join an IMO, you join an insurance group like mine at jasonfinalexpense.com or another good one, and they get you set up so that you can actually sell something. Being an insurance agent, having the insurance license does not allow you to sell a single product. It just means you're now ready to go get those companies, those carriers, those contracts, so that now you can hopefully capitalize in this amazing industry. So you've got your computer, step number 1, you've got your licensing, you've passed your exam. Now, step number 2, you're going to get appointed, you're going to get contracted, and you're going to get yourself into a position that you now need to go get trained. If you've got these companies, it doesn't do you much good if you don't know how to capitalize with these companies. So getting trained in final expense telesales is so important. It's so important that you vet your trainer. Make sure you're working and partnering with an agency that has truthfully done telesales. I have done telesales combined with the insurance industry background I have over 2+ decades, 20 plus years. That's a long time. And let me tell you, there's a lot of IMOs and FMOs, be careful, that have really never done telesales. Ask those questions. How long have you done telesales? Are you still doing telesales? What was your best month yourself? What was your best 6 months in the industry? Ask these questions. It'll keep you out of harm's way, because telesales is really an art form. You need to be trained and mentored, not like some IMOs that give you a video and a free website and say, hope you make it, buddy. You've got to be building yourself up to have the best chance, and I said chance, of success and survival. You've got to train like your career depends on it, because it really does. You got to be diligent about this. This is where discipline matters. You have to be disciplined. You have to be driven. And if you lack discipline, if you lack drive, like internal drive, you're not going to be dynamic. It's not where you just sit back and I put my feet up on the desk every day and like call 2 people and just call it a day. I don't call leads and expect them to just immediately buy from me, because leads aren't sales. And sometimes agents are sold this bill of goods, buy these special leads, wink, wink, and everybody buys from you. It's not the truth. So you got to work like you're broke, and you got to serve people like you've never served them before. And I promise you will hopefully sell more here, but you've got to get trained to the next level. You've got to possess laser-like focus if you want the best chance of having profitability. Keep in mind, like I shared with you earlier in this content, that 90+% of the industry doesn't make it. You want to make that money, you got to be about taking care of these sweet clients, but you've got to be laser focused. I promise you, you're going to have so many distractions. You're going to have activity avoidance behaviors that are going to come up. You're going to have all these little things that come. You want to work from home, but you're going to work yourself out of your own job by letting these distractions debilitate you. Whether it's, oh, I'm going to organize my CRM, or whether it's I'm going to play with my leads or get my carriers together, or whatever busy work. I'm going to go buy some toner cartridges. I'm going to run to the store, and then that steals your opportunity for success today because you're not on the phones. Okay. You want to be able to go see the events. You want to experience financial freedom. You want to be able to experience the ability to travel. Well, don't let income reducing activities take away what you say you want. So you've got to be disciplined. I can't emphasize this enough. You must be laser focused on getting yourself licensed if you're not. And if you are licensed, you got to get yourself into a position that you partner with a good agency that will really train you and help you in a powerful way. You've got to know how to script. You've got to know how to set up your work week. You've got to have turnkey systems like what we do here at Jason Final Expense, or another good agency that you vetted. You've got to know how to handle every objection that can ever come at you. You've got to know how to take that client from, okay, I want to buy from you. Now you've got to have plans in place on how to take them to the carrier to hopefully get them approved so that you can get paid. If the client doesn't get approved, you don't get paid anyway. So it's a scary place when you're in a place that you're not being trained. So translate the business by having a good mentor that's truly made it in telesales. And then once you've been trained, once you've been through the gauntlet, okay, once you're ready to go and you now know what to do, now you got to have a laser-like focus, and you've got to buy leads. It's a risk. You got to buy leads. It's not rainbows and unicorns, okay, falling from the sky. You're going to buy leads, and yes, it's a risk. It's not guaranteed money. But if you have good training, you're at least putting the balls, okay, in your corner. You're hopefully getting into a place where you can powerfully be more productive than others that are not as well trained on you, okay, in this industry. But you've got to possess discipline. You've got to possess drive. You've got to possess this can-do attitude if you want to capitalize. And if you're like, well, I got some leads and I called 10 of them and they didn't buy from me, and you put your feet up on the desk, you're going to find that this industry is no fun, and you're going to hate it. And I mean, hate it. So working from home has amazing advantages, but it also has disadvantages if you're not driven. So tip number 1, get yourself licensed, go to ExamFX, have a good phone, a good computer, good headset if you're going to use a CRM, but then get trained, get mentored, get into a position where you know how to handle objections, you know how to help your prospects get what they want. Then you're an order taker, but you got to buy leads. Leads are leverage. They're the lifeblood of your industry. Make sure you got good leads in your hands. And if you need good lead vendors, reach out. I'll serve you on that as well. You reach out on my website. But once you've been trained well, now you've got to translate into action, right? You're like, wow, no fun, right? I thought I just put my feet up on my desk. Some people are kind of told that. No, it's not the truth. You got to drive yourself hard. It's not about metrics. If you want to make it, you've got to do high action, high action, high action. What action means to you is getting on that phone, dialing and dialing and dialing and dialing. And dialing can be a drag. Okay. Telesales is amazing, but it's time consuming. You've got to be driven. And even if you're getting inbound leads, it can be a drag too, because you're waiting an hour, sometimes or two, for that call to come in. And then maybe you get to talk to one person. An inbound lead is just a paid conversation. That's it. It's not a paid conversion. Hopefully you can convert that great prospect into powerful things that they need from you, but it's not a guaranteed conversion. Higher skilled you are, the more sales you'll make. So this is an industry of those that do or those that get. It's a performance-based industry. The better you are, the better you get paid. But some days you do your best work, and then you're going to have to look at yourself and go, well, I did everything I could, and you know what? Not all the balls went in the hoop today. And then you start throwing balls the next day, and they start going in. It's a crazy industry like that. So understand it looks like a drag at times. It's hard work, but it's the best paying hard work you've ever seen anywhere in your life. So high action, be disciplined, be driven, get trained well, buy lots of leads, get as many good leads as you can. And if all you can afford is aged leads, that's fine. Start there and then work your way up. Get yourself a good exclusive lead down the road, but then pull the weeds out of your life so that good things can grow. Pull the little weeds, the little time suckers that are taking away your ability to be profitable. If you want to work from home, you got to work like you really want it. And at first, sometimes you got to work harder than you ever did at your 8 to 5. So does working like, okay, an animal sound like a lot of fun? Well, sometimes it doesn't, but it's the best paying, okay, career of your life if you make it. It really is. It gives you the flexibility in telesales to go take care of aged parents, travel across the nation, do what you desire to do, but you've got to accept that responsibility and be driven. Even when you're traveling, you got to plan for everything. If not, it'll take your profitability away, because those that do are those that get in this industry. You got to keep calling. You got to keep dialing, but you've got to be driven. You've got to be disciplined. You got to buy leads once you're trained, and you got to deal with the monotony of sometimes saying the same thing over and over and over again, but your prospects only heard it once, but you've heard it a million times. So being trained well is so important if you want to make it, but you've got to work like you're broke, and you got to serve people like you've never served them before. So if you're thinking about doing telesales in the final expense space, it's phenomenal. But if you're not driven, I would caution you to step into this space. Definitely don't quit your day job. All right. If you hate your job, I get it. Use that to create more hustle in you, to work on the weekends, work, okay, at nights. Prove the fact that you've got the discipline to make it work. Like you can't wait to get away from that 8 to 5. Choke it down a little longer, but don't quit your day job until you're in a position to powerfully move forward and you've duplicated your income. It'll keep you safe. And I know there's some places that'll tell you, you hate your day job, you're sick of choking it down. Just get rid of it. Okay. Just go buy a bunch of leads. Quit paying your mortgage. Quit paying your car payments. Just buy leads. You'll make $100,000, $200,000. It's a lie. It's an absolute lie. Could you do that? Yes. Can you do that? Yes, it's available to you, but it's not promised. Understand, you want to step into these waters with wisdom, and the harder you work, the luckier you get every day. But some days you're overpaid and some days you're underpaid. It's how the industry works. Just hustle, and help these great people to the best of your ability, because they do need you. So working from home is amazing. You're going to love it, especially if you're successful at it. And if I can serve you in any way, reach out, jasonfinalexpense.com. But hopefully you've got what it takes. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.